older than our universe because it birthed our universe, and it births other universes, and it births, the way the equations drive it, an infinity of universes. This is the idea that maybe there's a version of us in another where I'm bald and you got the afro but everything else is the same.
And also a version where everything's the same.
Where everything would be the same, yes.
Everything you've ever said has been said before exactly in the same order.
Correct. There's no reason to presume that everything in this universe isn't or hasn't already played out in the exact way in another one of these infinite universes.
And in an infinite number of different ways.
Correct. And so that is what comes out of the equations. So that makes the Big Bang a kind of a small part of a much larger whole. And so, yeah, we're ready for that. But the fact that the universe had a beginning 14 billion years ago, and there's the cosmic microwave background, all of these features are intact. They're not going to all of a sudden not apply. That's my point. That's my long answer to your very clean question.
So this thing that happened 14 billion years ago, what is the predominant theory of why?
So this multiverse concept gives us a reason why. Okay? So it's like, imagine you're rolling around in a basin, okay? And you're stable there. You're just fine. But then something kicks you out of the basin, and you didn't know that there's a huge hill to roll down after you come out of that basin. But you didn't know that. You thought everything was just fine. You roll down that hill, you're gaining energy. At the bottom of the hill, something stops you. And then where does all that energy go? One of the hypotheses, and I'm highly simplifying here, is that the energy gained by rolling down a hill, and these are energy hills that would exist in this sort of higher dimensional space that we're talking about. That energy has to manifest in that object somehow, and it becomes an explosion and gives birth. With enough energy, it gives birth to matter, everything that we know and love, and it expands. Because when you concentrate that much energy in a small spot, that's the only thing you can do.
I understand that you're simplifying it, but I don't understand.
Simplified it in the sense that by using this basin analogy and rolling down a hill, that they're equations of the energetics of a system, and this is called a false vacuum. So you can be in a place that's not the true bottom energy state of the system, but you think everything is fine, but it's not, and so. If you move around among these hills and valleys, you end up birthing universes out the other side. And this multiverse concept actually delivers this for you, basically for free.
That thought would be that the Big Bang is just one of many events that happen in the multiverse.
Correct. And not only that, it could be that other Big Bang events might have a slightly different laws of physics in it. So you want to watch out for that if you cross over from one universe to the other and the charge on the electron is slightly different. You could all your atoms could just scatter or compress into a pile of goo. Yeah, so take something to test first.
Yeah, send a chicken out there.
Chickens get no respect. Whatever happened to guinea pigs?
Well, guinea pigs are cute. They have fur.
They're cute and furry.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Chickens are way easier to just send to space.
I spent a whole section in this book talking about people who love animals and want to care for them and don't want to eat them. But they only love ones that are cuddly.
For
make
sure.
A plush toy out of it.
My agent said that. She knows I hunt. She's like, you should hunt pigs because they're ugly. I'm like, how dare you? First of all, domesticated pigs are adorable.
They are, in fact.
Domesticated dogs are ugly too because they're desperate.
In fact, I have I have a voice cameo of a pig in a Disney XD cartoon called Gravity Falls. It's a farmhouse, and there's a pig that lives with everybody. And the pig eats some slop that the kids are told makes you smarter. And so they bought it at a fair or something. So they went to sleep putting the slop on their forehead, thinking it would get into their head and make them smart. But the pig sees it on their forehead and licks it off of their forehead. And then overnight, the pig becomes a supreme genius, builds an atom smasher, builds a voice translator. And while the pig is smart, I'm its voice. It's
That's hilarious.
it's cute. It's a cute. And so, but what was I talking about before?
Big Bang, multiverses, different laws of physics.
Yeah, slightly different laws of physics are a fascinating prospect. How that they might vary and how you might want to avoid it. Oh, what I was talking about, if you want to save animals, I've never seen anyone say, save the leeches.
No one cares about bugs.
Save the ticks. In particular, parasites. Save the mosquitoes. Mosquitoes, the biggest enemy of humans, as big an enemy as we are to each other through warfare in the history of civilization, the greatest enemy to human life has been the mosquito. Responsible for more than 1 billion human deaths in the history of civilization. And so here we have mosquitoes, ticks, tapeworms, go down the list. And you can ask, if you're really into animals and don't want to kill them, if you heard that ticks were endangered, would you start a movement to protect ticks? Would you do that? And if you would, more power to you. But I'm thinking you're not.
Why would you if you know about Lyme disease?
This is my point.
Yeah, or...
This is my point. I mean, by the way, the Lyme virus wants to live too, right?
Right.
These are all creatures on God's green earth, right? And so you end up being a species bigot. That's in the chapter Meatarians and Vegetarians. There's the philosophies that each of those camps will embrace. And the question is, how thoroughly thought through are those philosophies? Like in one example, let's say you don't want to kill animals, but you have a humane mousetrap in your basement. Okay, why not? You don't want to snap the neck of the mouse. That's cruel. You like animals, right? So you save the mouse. You got to check on it every few days because they dry out quickly if you trap it. So what do you do when you catch it? What do they do?
Release them.
Release it back into the wild, guaranteeing the mouse gets eaten whole by an owl or pecked apart by all manner of woodland predators between 9 and 18 months of its life. So the safest thing to do with your mouse is to leave it in your basement. If you really care about animal life and the mouse managed to get into your basement, leave it there. It'll live up to 6 years in your basement.
I lived in Colorado for a while next to an ashram, and I was visiting the ashram and talking to the woman who runs it, and she sprayed Raid all over these ants. And I go, "What are you doing?" And she's like, "Well, it's unfortunate, but